GGRC.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of GGRC. I'm RC, and this gray mound over here, this, believe it or not, is Sushi. You just can't really see his head. You just gotta trust me, he's here. So despite the mysterious moving gray mound over here, I want to thank everybody for all the well wishes and congratulations a couple days ago for my baby announcement. It's very exciting for us here, but to parlay that into what we're talking about today, Google has finally unveiled their new baby that is also coming this year. Now, you guys might remember I talked about this in December. I actually uploaded a video of me playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey for Project Stream, and I was actually very impressed with it. If you haven't watched the video, go back into my archives and check it out. It is very, or at least I should say it was very impressive that they could take Assassin's Creed Odyssey and make it run through a web browser without any problem whatsoever. You just load up Chrome, hit play, and boom, there's the game. And I was just like, wow, like, this should not be running as good as it does. It still, had a few issues here and there, but it was running at what I could tell to be a 1080p or close to, HD resolution, and it was running at 30 frames per second. But man, I was just like, wow, the fact that this is running in Chrome just absolutely blew me away. So today, Google actually had a keynote at GDC, the Game Developers Conference, and has finally announced the name of their new gaming platform, I guess you could call it, because it's not a box. It's basically just a service, from what I can tell. It is called Stadia. So I guess it's kind of like Stadium, I suppose, and it's got this interesting little S logo thing going on. I don't know, whatever, what's in a name it these days, right? But regardless, like I said, from what I could tell from the beta with the preview back what I played in December, I was very impressed, and it looks like this is going to be a very promising platform. And they said that this will also be something that not only can you boot up in your browser, so like any computer at all can play it, but any device can also play it. So if you have a PC, you're good. If you have a Mac, you're good. If you have an iPad, if you have an iPhone, if you have an Android, if you have some kind of Galaxy Notepad or something like that, even if it's a crappy laptop, you're going to be able to play these games, like Doom Eternal, for instance. They had Marty from id Software up there talking about Doom Eternal and how they've already worked with Google here to get it running up on Stadia, and that's pretty impressive because Doom 2016 was a very beautiful looking game. Doom Eternal, I assume, is going to have the same type of beauty going on. It's going to be just as much of a graphics hog, I'm sure. And to have the confirmation from them that they already have the game running in Stadia, I believe it, and I'm impressed because I saw, what I did with Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So, very much looking forward to see what kind of like really crappy laptop I can find, or even like a Chromebook or something like that, to see if this will run in it. So in addition to that, even though you'll be able to use any of your own hardware, they did unveil that there is a hardware piece that you can buy. It's a new controller, and it really does look like, a hybrid between like a Xbox and PS4 controller. Like big surprise really there, right? It looks very much like the Nintendo Switch Pro controller, which I have right here, with the left stick and D-pad sort of reversed. That's kind of what it looks like. But they said that you won't really have to use that. If you have a controller that will connect to your device, they say that you should be able to use that. So typically, if you have an Xbox One or Xbox 360 controller that you can connect through Bluetooth or USB, it sounds like you'll be able to use that as well. So what I think is potentially the most exciting thing about this, though, is that whenever this launches, I guarantee it's going to be later this year, probably holiday this year, if I had to guess. It's going to be launching with the ability... Oh, see, look, you can see the gray guy's moving. He's real. He's here. It's going to be launching with native 4K support and 60 frames per second. I was just like, oh, that's great. You know how much people struggle to get these things to run that good just on a normal PC like you got here? You know how much money people put into their PCs to do that? That's outrageous. And in the future, they're going to be shooting for 8K resolution. So like, okay, cool. I'm kind of on board already. On top of those things, they also introduced a few other interesting little tidbits, like if you're you're going to be able to automatically stream your gameplay to YouTube. Now, I don't know if that includes like a webcam. So, you know, if I were to play a game for GGRC on here, would it also include a webcam, you know, of me playing the game? I don't know. They didn't really get into the specifics of it. They just said because of the way they're doing it, they're going to be able to take your gameplay and boom, it'll go to YouTube. So I don't know if on YouTube they're going to have like a more, you know, gamer-friendly interface for that kind of thing to take, like, hey, when this is happening, do you want us to throw a webcam over it? This kind of thing. Who knows? Who knows if that's going to happen? But on top of that, if you're watching somebody stream, I guess they put into the idea that if you want to, you can actually hit play at a portion or at a part of where they're in the game that you're watching the stream on, and you can hit play from there, and you can just take over with your controller and play from there on your own computer. That's just like insanity to me. That's just like crazy. And on top of that, if you have a part in your game that you want to give to other people to play, you can actually create a save state and make a hyperlink and send that hyperlink to somebody, and they can jump right into the spot that you're at. So that way, I guess you could show them something, or you can have them jump right to a boss battle. This is going to be pretty revolutionary, really, if you think about it, because you know, whenever you're online and you're checking out a walkthrough or an FAQ or something like that, they're going to be able to just put the hyperlinks in there, so that way they're like, hey, if you're playing this on Stadia, click this link and it'll take you right to the boss battle, and we'll show you how to take care of this boss. I think that that's super cool. On top of that, if somebody is streaming a multiplayer game, you can actually send out a request to play that game with them. So they are really going all in on the interactivity with people streaming and being online together and everything like that. The one thing I hope that they're not forgetting, though, is like just all the basic essential fundamental stuff, because this stuff is going to be really fun, and I think, you know, the younger crowd is going to be really into this. But as the old-fashioned dude that I am, I'm going to want a friends list, you know. I'm going to want to be able to turn off those options, because if I'm streaming for you guys, I'm not going to want like constant you know, invites coming up on my screen just being annoying and everything. It's just not something I'm going to want. The other thing that I'm a little curious about, and this has come up in the past few years with games being pulled off of Steam because of licensing and that kind of thing, where, say, for example, I believe on, you know, Stadia, I'm sure it's going to be the same thing where, like, hey, Doom Eternal comes out, here's $60, boom, I got a copy of Doom Eternal that I can play anywhere, right? However, what if something happens with the licensing on any of these games that you buy, right? You know, there were games that you bought on Steam, and as long as you bought them, you could still download them. They still exist on Steam somewhere for you to get. However, on Stadia, since it's streaming, if they lose licensing or whatever happens with some of these games, what happens if you can't play it anymore? Are they going to refund your money? Is this just going to be sort of a a venture capitalist thing where, you know, they'll take your money and then it's like, well, you know, sorry, you hit the okay button, you agreed to our terms and everything, so you're kind of out of game there. I don't know. Those are the things that worry me about this a little bit. Oh, and one of the features that you might be interested in too that they showed off is, I guess it's more novelty at this moment if you think about it, but they actually have Tequila Works, which is the company who made Rhyme. They're working on sort of a machine learning style transfer thing where you can actually take the game you're currently playing and apply different looks to it. So you know, you can make it look, you know, grayscale, or you can make it look like, you know, one of the examples they show is like you can take an image off the internet and you can just apply that image over the game and it'll do its best to sort of texture the game with that image, which I thought was really strange because it didn't look good, but it's more of an interesting, okay, I see what you're going, you know, what you're doing with this. But I could see that being very interesting though, you know, if they're going to tie like achievements to it, like, oh, you know what, apply this style and finish a level in this style, then you pop an achievement or something, you know, it might be cool for that. But there you go, everybody. I just wanted to give you my thoughts on the reveal here for Stadia. I think it's really cool, and I think it has the potential to be very big. I think that this is going to be a huge thing, and if it doesn't catch on this year, it's definitely going to catch on in the next few years here, because I think people are going to have a hard time letting go of their Steam accounts and all the money that they put into that. But I mean, it would seem from most of the companies that this is sort of the future here. You know, if Google's doing it, then I'm sure, you know, Microsoft is going to get in on it. I'm sure that, you know, Sony with the PlayStation at some point is going to have a PlayStation app that you're going to be able to download and play all the games on and do the same thing with. I think this is pretty much where we're going. But regardless, I want to thank you guys for watching here. Tell me what you think of the new Stadia reveal here. because I certainly think it's at least interesting, if not a little scary and a little impressive at the same time. I want to thank you all for watching, of course, and don't forget to, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Join us on Discord so we can chat more about this. And of course, I will see you all next time on the next episode of GGRC. See you then.
GGRC.